Hey Ross World, my money makes money. Fraud alert. Identity theft and fraud. I have been a victim of identity theft and or fraud. And what am I getting at? Recently, this last week, I was checking my bank account and I had 3 separate charges from Amazon. And I do quite a bit of business off of Amazon, but I don't use it on my checking account. I use my credit card. These charges was on my banking account, which I never use. I only use it to pay off my credit card. So I had to do some digging just to make sure all of my accounts were in order. And I wrote down some notes here to help you to avoid fraud and or identity theft. Now, you can just reference right here. I have the little pic right here so you can see the amounts was $125, $50, and $25 for an accumulation of $200. Now, granted, when have you ever seen equal numbers across the board? I mean, we know fives are odd numbers, but you know what I mean, 25, 50, 125 with no cents behind it, like no tax. These are fraudulent charges, and thank God my bank refunded my money, canceled that card, and sent me out another one. But here's the thing. To protect yourself from identity theft or fraud, there's a numerous of Google searches you can actually do, but I'm just going to give you a way and not the way, because there's many ways. Now, first and foremost, you want to make sure you have antivirus software on your computer. Whatever it may be, I'm not going to tell you to go get Norton or McAfee or Avast or any of those things or Lookout. Pick the one that works best for you. Just diddle-daddle with those things and find the one that's actually best for you. Now, the other thing is you want to make sure you have the most up-to-date software for your computer, whether it be Apple or Windows. It doesn't matter what type of software, just make sure you have the most up-to-date software for you can get all the security fixes that may have holes in it. If you have a smartphone, especially Android-based, make sure you have some sort of antivirus software as well as a firewall so hackers do not infiltrate your phone and get all the pertinent information off your phone to steal your identity or commit fraud against you. Now, last but not least, when it comes to the protection aspect of the operation and all the things we do with computers and smartphones, is your Wi-Fi. Please do not have open Wi-Fi. Make sure you have a Wi-Fi password that uses numbers, letters, and special characters. That way it's much, much harder for those people to actually hack into your accounts. Now, granted, don't give out your Wi-Fi password to everyone. And yes, you can make guest accounts where I use ACEs. I can actually put a timer of how long I want somebody to be on my Wi-Fi, even if they're in my home. So these are just options for you guys. Now, granted, that is for your protection when it comes to all your computer devices, whether it be your cell phone, your laptop, your desktop, your tablet, and all other sorts of apparatus. Now, I'm just a little flustered because this has happened twice in my life, okay? And some people probably can account it happened more than that. The first time, it was over 15 years ago. Someone took $50 out of my account, and I have no idea how. But this is kind of scripted. This is kind of different, okay? They somehow got into Amazon and made fraudulent charges against me, or maybe it was on Amazon part, but nonetheless, I did my due diligence and I try to track my steps. Either I don't have an Amazon credit card, I only have an Amazon Prime account, and I made sure, like, is this card listed on that account of Amazon? And no, it isn't. So I had to comb through all my things, and here's some of the steps after I comb through to talk to my bank to see what I can do. Here's some of the things I am now doing, which I've put out a video before about fraud and identity theft. Now, I review each of my credit reports, and of course, you can go to annualcreditreport.com to get a free copy once per year, to check your credit report in order to see if you see anything frivolous or anything nefarious in your credit report. That way you can dispute it and get rid of it. You also want to call one of the 3 major credit agencies, which is Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion, and tell them to put a fraud alert on your credit. And once one does it, they all mirror each other. So if you call Experian is going to translate that information to Equifax and TransUnion. They're going to put a 90-day trial fraud alert on your account. Now you can extend it, but for initially it's going to be that 90-day trial. And number 3, create an identity report. Go over to the Federal Trade Commission's website. They have a link, because now the Federal Trade Commission has a link to another website they actually govern, and it's called identitytheft.gov. I mean, you don't got to go through the Federal Trade Commission. Just go over to identitytheft.gov and go through all the prompts, and so you can put all of your accounts, all your affairs in order, and that way the federal government knows that someone's out there trying to be you, using your credit, using your funds, using your bank account, using your PII, your personal information, so on and so forth. This is another wave of protection. Contact all of your financial institutions. That way they understand and they know what you are going through. So if anything outside of the ordinary, they're gonna give you a prompt, an email, a text, a call to let you know, hey, did you make this transaction? Or there's a transaction that tried to go through and we stopped it. All of these are protections in order until you can find out the root of this alert, the root of this fraud, the root of this identity theft. And this is a serious issue anywhere. It doesn't matter if you're in America or any other country. You need to find out the proper steps for you in your area. Now, number 5, request a 7-year extended fraud alert on your credit report. Now, back then I had it, and every time I try to make a purchase, it stopped me in my tracks. I had to call and say, hey, I'm trying to make this purchase. It's over this amount of money, blah, 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 and then they will approve it. Now, it was a hassle when you're trying to get things done and like, oh, sir, your card did not get approved. I'm like, oh, well, I got money in there. Let me call my bank. And sometimes my bank will even call me. But at the time, it helped me out greatly, because once I stopped the fraud alert, I haven't had issues for 15 years, and here we go again. But nonetheless, my money was refunded back to me, and now I'm going through this process again. And unfortunately, places like LifeLock, they make a lot of money because they guarantee that you won't go through this, and if you do, you get your money back, and blah, 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 blah. But this is just a fraud alert warning that people are still doing it each and every day. And just because you haven't been affected doesn't mean that you won't. Because me, a person who always looking at his finances, who always, crossing his T's, dotting his I's, looking at particular things in his accounts, it has happened. It's just something that all consecutively happened on my accounts, and I didn't know the better. But I did take the steps to get my money back, number 1. Then 2, protecting myself. So this is Ross World. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, hit the little notification bell. That way, anytime I release a video, you get to see it first. Learn money and be inspired. And during that time, don't let nobody take your damn money. Boy, they lucky I can't find these Woo! I'm out.